Good morning. I'm Nereida La Sirena with Celestial Soul Wellness. And thank you for watching. Today we're talking about the full moon in Sagittarius. And wow, got a lot of stuff going on because with this full moon, it is right there at the galactical center, okay? It's at 29 degrees Sagittarius, right there going to 30, and then we got Capricorn going on. Simultaneously, a few hours, well, almost simultaneously, a few hours later, we have the summer solstice. So we got a lot of endings and yet beginnings happening. And so this is exciting. Um, it is happening at the end of a Sagittarius, which a mutable sign changes and things need a flexibility this whole year. I have been mentioning over and over, flexibility is a necessity. If a person is too rigid, if they're stuck in their ways, that they're really showing a lot of fear. Because when we're fearful, we are going to be so stuck, we are not able to change things. We're like, no, I know this way and this way protected me and nothing else. Well, when we need protection or we have uh, this this drive for needing protection, it's because we fear that, and we're always constantly in fear as opposed to being, hey, I can handle myself in any situation. So when that fear overrides us and we're living through fear as the main guide, as opposed to being able to handle ourselves in the situations, then we are no longer living, we are surviving. When we can handle ourselves and we are grounded and we handle our reactions, then we can live. And as we live, we are going to be able to share more and nurture more and give more love. When we are living out of fear, we are in lack of love, okay? And so that is the difference upon surviving and living. And Sagittarius is a very much a focusing of connecting with the Masaya, like we say. You know, it's very mystic with the universe, the crown chakra, okay? And so it's really taking time to re realize and connect with that. It's also Sagittarius is sextile Aquarius, and I say that because we are now in the age of Aquarius, needing time again of connecting, of thinking outside of the box, because that is what gives us our flexibility. Okay, so real quickly, let's go over the Sabian symbol. And let me get my pen. Okay, so you guys all know that I write everything down the time so that way you don't have to watch the whole. Okay, so the Sabian symbol is a parade of bathing beauties, okay, before a large beach crowd. Now, let's take this a little bit at a time. A parade of bathing beauties, a parade. Ooh, that means there's many, not just one, but many. When we have a parade, there's a mixture, a variety, okay? It's entertaining. Well, very important because beauty is entertaining. Beauty takes us out of the ugliness of our fear and of that survival and that anger and of that ego against ego. Beauty, though, there's a certain ego with it, you know, because when we carry ourselves, we are uh, when we're feeling beautiful inside, we're carrying it on the outside and we're feeling confident and sharing. And so there's that necessity of separation there, of um, of allowing ourselves to be dragged down and then allowing ourselves to be what? Are you the spectator? Or are you the participant? I know some people that are spectators of life. They like to watch life go by. And other people that are participants, they want to do, and have action and enjoy. And those participants become more into living. When you're a spectator, you're just watching and saying, I'm fine here. I really don't want to get too involved because my fears come out and I don't know how to handle my fears, those emotions. When you're a participant, you're constantly dealing with situations, and the more situations you deal with, yes, Ragnar, the more situations we deal with, then the more we know how to handle ourselves and move ahead. Okay? And when we're moving ahead and being more flexible, things are less fearful. And so we embrace those challenges as opposed to fearing it because we don't know how we're going to handle it, how our inner child, how our ego's going to deal with those things. So that is one thing of a parade. You have right there, just saying a parade, is you have spectator and participants, then a bathing beauties. Wow. When we are wearing a bathing suit, we are comfortable with our bodies, no matter what shape or size it is really enjoying it because the body is a reflection of what's going on inside. It is, and as a integrative life coach and alkaline nutritionist, I tell that constantly. Every single pain and ache that we carry is a reflection of some emotional baggage that we have not released. Logically, you might have come to terms with it, but psychologically and emotionally, it hasn't been released. And there's a big difference coming to terms and releasing. So when we are comfortable with the body, going back to the bathing beauties, okay, we are showing confidence. That confidence comes out. You know, beauty is really that confidence that comes out. It's not necessarily how am I going to change my face? How am I going to do my hair? Um, let me see, let me put this shawl on, let me wear these heels. Okay, it has to come out from the inside in our personality and character. I have seen many men and women who, when they're smiling, they're handsome and they're beautiful and gorgeous. Yet when they're in line at the market, they're like, and they're making these faces, and you just know there's no beauty inside. There's no happiness inside. And when a person is not happy inside, it's because they're always focused on the negative without taking into consideration that there is so much positive. Of course, there's going to be situations in the world, okay?
Probably sand is going on, there's sand and water, and other people are being just as comfortable and just being down to earth and not pretentious. And so
that is a need of just allowing that inner beauty of just being wonderful, happy, and respecting others and living out of living and not surviving and sharing that with others. Okay. And encouraging it, because the parade is, we're encouraging, we're recognizing perhaps those who are more masters at it, okay, who are more well versed in something. And in this case, bathing beauties, they're more well versed at, hopefully, in a positive way of taking care of their body and being able to smile, not doing that parade smile. Yeah. That fake? Okay. You want to really smile and have a good time and showing that. And so smiling, remember, smiling is very important. Okay, let's continue with the rest of us. Okay, we have several things going on today. We have, um, wow, well, of course, the full moon. Okay, and we mentioned too that the full moon is opposite the galactic, is at the galactical center right there. Okay, it's a very energetic point. Okay, also there is, let me see here. Of course, the full moon is always opposite, the sun. Well, right now, I'm being opposite the sun. It is the sun, okay, is at the end of Gemini going into Cancer, and Venus is right there conjunct. It's hanging out. So we have, okay, the sun is here and Venus is over here. It's not exactly, but the sun will catch up, okay, because the sun moves faster than Venus. And Venus is at 4 degrees Cancer. And so there's a lot of nurturing going on. So there's action because of the full moon and wanting to move, yet there is a nurturing going on too. um, I know they're saying the moon is already in Capricorn. Okay, and there is after 4 this morning. And so, just stabilizing and a lot of nurturing, because Capricorn men do nurture. They like to be the provider. That's the way they nurture. And so there is that Cancer nurturing to the mothering and giving love and providing and giving a safety haven and making sure that we are taking care of in ourselves, not just on the outside. There is that romance and that need to love. Well, going with that full moon too is, let me just go over certain dates just to get that more or less out of the way, or be aware of. So, and I apologize, I have it all over my things. So I apologize in advance if it's not in chronological order. Okay, so just a reminder that we did have Neptune go retrograde. Okay, a few weeks, less than a week ago, and then two, we have mm, what's okay, Pallas is going retrograde on the 21st. We have on the 22nd, wow, on the 22nd, we have Vesta conjunct Mercury squaring, excuse me, Vesta conjunct Mercury squaring the north nodes. That's going to be interesting, okay? And so, and on, which is almost conjunct Jupiter, because on the 24th we have Jupiter conjunct the north node. So it's very close right now. So we're feeling a lot of different things going on there, okay? And there's that need to express who we are, that our hearth, our what it is that is gives us not the passion, but that sense of being home. We have to make sure that with this Vesta conjuncting Mercury and squaring the North Node, that the what's going on, this is the North Node of what's going on now, not our personal North Node. So what's going on in society? that sometimes the communication of really seeing what's going on in the depths. And we could see that also too here in the United States of the presidential elections going on and the primaries of we're really seeing true characters come out and such things that we say we're evolved, yet we're seeing a lot of prejudice going on, a lot of resentment that's being encouraged, against certain groups of other human beings in society, which is very backwards. It's going backwards as opposed to going forward. People are allowing themselves being supported financially by groups and corporations that are hindering and poisoning the people, and by the foods, and by also putting in the medicines, so and not encouraging health and living. And yet these are our options, and people are actually voting on those options, saying, well, wasn't the other person wasn't going to win, so might as well put my vote to them. Well, with that mentality, that's how they don't win. So it's really showing all this going on, and yet we're in the new millennium, and it's just surprising. And do know, because Pluto is in Capricorn, and with Uranus, hanging out there in Aries, we are just gonna, it's just gonna break, okay? And Cetus is right there. It's all just, it's not going to be, no matter what happens, there is going to be a passive revolution, okay, going on, in which there is a people who are being more compassionate, more understanding, and realizing, that a different perspective and mentality and way of living is necessary and needs to be the norm, not this ridiculous kind of social selling of this group is better or my religion is better. And it just shows ignorance throughout the history of how that hasn't worked, and yet people are encouraging that mentality, and then the rest, the followers, are not thinking on their own. And that's the important thing, because Sagittarius is having your own mind, of being able to connect and see and really understand and go, wow, am I a follower, am I a leader, am I encouraging positive, am I just putting down, or encouraging negativity towards others. We have a mutable grand cross, okay? Um, so I have some notes right above it. A mutable grand cross, and that mutable grand cross we have here, I say, as you read my mind, right? No, it's ridiculous, but it's just a flavoring expression. Um, we got the Neptune right there, and wow, okay, there's several things going on, so let's go slowly. The mutable Grand Cross, we have a Neptune which is retrograde at 12 degrees there, Pisces, and it just went retrograde. That's squaring, okay, that Saturn at 11 degrees, Sagittarius. That is squaring Jupiter at 15 degrees, okay, Virgo, which is squaring Mercury at 11 degrees, Gemini. Flexibility. If you're not flexible, you're gonna have problems. Okay, so anywhere in your chart, if you have personal planets, okay, because it's not just your sun, but your ascendant, your any personal luminaries, better, because of the ascendant and the moon and asteroids that are within the 5 degrees of that, we are going to feel it, okay? So if also if your birth dates run anywhere in give or take, let's see here, um, within those degrees, okay, you are really going to feel those changes too. So either be it your sun, moon, Aries, north node, okay, let's see, Mars, certain asteroids, so be aware of that. And it's just a lot of flexibility, a lot of pull and understanding. Yet through all this, hence, let's hear this. There is a conjunction going on. It's far from Neptune, but yet it is, but it isn't, because with asteroids we have a closer degree necessary of conjunction, yet it can be felt. It's kind of like we're witnessing a situation, but it's not affecting us directly, just a little. It's kind of like we might have the neighbor, someone got a heart attack 5 houses down, and though it's not happening to us, it is now blocking our street. You see what I mean? The fire trucks and ambulance is blocking the streets, so now we can't leave, or we cannot go on our, we might be at work a little bit late because of that situation from someone else. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so we are being affected indirectly, or well, it is directly, but not on the scale of the harsh, okay, but in a scale that, so we need to understand that and be aware, okay? And how can we adjust and be flexible about the situation this time? We got to call work. Hey, they blocked off our street. I can't leave unless you're going to send the corporate, you know, the the corporate helicopter to pick me up. I'm stuck here, you know. And be aware of that and make the most of it, saying, well, kids, I guess we're stuck. We can't walk, even walk. They blocked it. Or maybe we take the bike we could because the cars can't get through. If we can't do that and we're stuck at home, well, let's take out Scrabble and Twister and what kind of meals we can make, and make the most of it. All right. um, Maybe it was a needed holiday for connecting for those at the home, and maybe not, so we need to be more flexible about the situation, but at the same time there is, I said, that conjunction. And in Pisces, what's going on is we have Eros at 8 degrees, okay, and it's conjunct Pallas at 7 degrees, which is conjunct Nessus at 5 degrees. Wow. So there is um this lust, this coming out, okay? And at the same time, we're not seeing it clearly, so it's kind of feeling good, all right? And being careful, those of you who take medications and alcohol and smoking certain hallucinogenic, okay, items, because it's going to hinder us seeing clearly what is going on. And in that, there could be allowance of abuse, all right, and manipulation, because Nessus is right there. And Palaces is about knowing our boundaries and knowing our limits and understanding why are they our boundaries. I know that I'd rather I like being barefoot. I feel more grounded, and I've fallen many times in heels around the house. For the reason is when my son was younger, and I didn't. I should say we, because as a parent I should have encouraged him to pick up the toys. I would trip and fall with the heels, not seen properly. So my limits and boundaries, I prefer to take off my shoes and be barefoot at home, and I feel grounded, and I just there's less of a perchance of falling. I didn't care for the falling. It's just like and that was more scary than the actual hurt of the knee or anything like that. And so, knowing my limits and boundaries and being aware of it, what can I do to adjust myself? One, I try and make sure there's nothing on the floor so no one else trips. It falls, and thank goodness now my son is older, so he doesn't have much except in his bedroom and his clothes on the floor. But anyway, that's something else. Uh, we also know is how to handle ourselves in falling. So if I fall, it's like, woo, I try and be more flexible, not just like, okay, and being aware, so that way I cannot be manipulated or be abused and being taken advantage of during that time. And that's very important, because in that also, there can be an abundance of pushing, and us feeling like, well, I guess I got to, because I don't know how, and I guess they know better than me. And well, I am allowing disrespect. Why am I allowing disrespect towards me? Is that disrespect? Okay. I know one of my clients yesterday, they received a call, I needed to leave right away. And they apologized later saying, hey, I apologize that I just took off that way. I said, no, no, no. Children are number one. I understand that completely. Children under 18, they still need the guidance of the parents. And I didn't find that disrespectful. I didn't find that hindering, crossing limits and boundaries. In fact, encourage that. And so sometimes our limits and boundaries are something someone else might have been like, hey, well, this was my time. And they don't understand because they're not experienced and they're more into their ego. Um, as opposed to being in a compassionate and in a social uplifting sense. And we need to be aware of that and always encourage that, because also we have Vesta that's conjunct. It's a open conjunction, far conjunction with I guess because it's an asteroid with Mercury. So speaking our truth, speaking and really making sure our throat chakra is open, which I'm having some difficulty here. I think because I'm drinking cold tea as opposed to hot tea. It's been very warm here in Southern California. The summer solstice with the moon in Sagittarius has really, really just, you see how the moon also affects our weather, has just really brought in, the summer as a blast, like woohoo, for the next 2 weeks. And this is where the Farmer's Almanac, and knowing and seeing how the planets can affect our environment, our weather, which also affects us. So there's also that understanding. Okay, so we talked about also, we need to also make sure that what we're doing is serving and expanding, okay, and nurturing ourselves and others. Because if it's not towards something positive, if it's negative, if if we are behaving like children and just making fun and poking down all the time, okay, like, what's your problem? Or yeah, you think you're better. That is very childish. And it is no longer appropriate in this society, in this age of Aquarius, that is very immature, that is showing one's insecurity. If one is saying, uh, making fun of and calling names, name calling, and saying, "Oh, well, look at you! Now I'm going to call you this and that." You know, be aware that it's not. It's very inappropriate if it's not uplifting. Okay, we could joke about things, but we don't have to create now a name that now everybody else is going to call. Okay, make sure it is something supportive, that it brings pride. Okay, I never allowed people to call me certain nicknames because I didn't care. It just wasn't, it didn't jive with me and it didn't flow with me. And it was just like, no, you know, it doesn't matter what you think. It's me, it's my name. Okay. And we need to have our limits and boundaries and respect ourselves and encourage that respect with that. Okay. And going with that and nurturing others too, because we need to bring that up. Saying a simple good morning, thank you, hey, a wave, when someone stops and lets you pass, thumbs up, or like, yeah, thank you. Um, it's very encouraging because then we want to, when we see we are appreciated and respected for those things, then we want to also do more of it. Okay, but if people don't appreciate our kindness and generosity, then we're like, well, why? No one gives a damn. Then all of a sudden we're thinking, let me just think for myself and not care. And now we're acting like animals instead of people. People are encouraging and supporting. And it's hard because I know there's times we're really tired and we just don't want to. But let me tell you, that's when we push through that energy. And this is with Jupiter expanding. When we push through that energy, when it's very difficult, of when we no longer have it, and we say, yes, I'm still going to encourage positive. And that is when we reap the most rewards, okay? And it's scary though, because sometimes we're like, I just want to stop. And I'm not saying martyr yourself out. There's a difference, okay? There's a big difference. But to do it and know that it is an appreciation after, and that's what's very, very important, okay? Continuing on, I have these numbered, so it's very important. Let's go. We have Amor. Ooh, I love that asteroid, Amor, right? Amor, that's at, where is Amor here? Okay, at 22 degrees Taurus, all right? And it is opposite of Mars, okay, at 24 degrees retrograde in Scorpio, okay, which is conjunct, it's a far conjunction, but it is of Reiki, okay, and it's trining Chiron there at 25 degrees Pisces. So this is, let me just see something. So we have, Amor is sextile Chiron in other words. So there's that support. Chiron, the wounded healer, if not necessarily, everybody's like, oh, this heals. Actually, it is where we have the most difficulty in healing ourselves, but we have the most positive in healing others. Okay, so there's that conflict. Um, when other people have personal planets conjunct that, we might find almost a rejection towards that healing, okay? Because there's something we are not seeing and we're being open and fearful and the pain, yet we are giving. And in this here, that amor is in Taurus of that sensuality of giving in good food, healthy food, okay? Think of the bull out, I always use the example of the bull Fernandine out there in the pasture. And this is not where we just sugars, okay? One of the problems with Taurus is they could become diabetic because of all the synthetic. If it's not pure in its natural form, leave it alone, okay? Leave it alone. Just don't. It's not, you can overindulge and hurt yourself in it. And thank goodness Jupiter is too far of a trine for that from a more to really expand it. But yet it can, if you have a personal luminary between um, 15 degrees and 21 degrees in an earth sign, you can ignite that. And so that is something you need to right now calm down and simmer and say, okay, I want sweets, lack of sweets. A craving for sweets is really feeling that you don't have enough love. And that means you're not having enough love within yourself to give, because then there's that, it's a whole psychological and emotional process, okay? As a coach, I'm going to just tell you real quickly, if we're feeling a lack of love, it's because we're feeling that we are not getting enough love. We're not getting enough love because we're not feeling deserving, perhaps because of our environment of being put down and negativity. So we need to encourage that. We need to realize that we cannot get, okay, from a rooster eggs. We could get a rooster who gets together with a chicken, and the chicken could give us eggs. But if you're demanding eggs from a rooster, it's not going to happen. So where are you demanding love? Where are you feeling a lack of love? And can you give it to yourself? Can you be? That is the important thing, of creating that love affair with yourself during this time, really appreciating yourself, knowing what you need, and giving yourself that, but not through other people. Because then, people say they're being deceitful. They're not being deceitful. You just are not being clear. And you're demanding things that they didn't offer in the first place. Okay? So that's very important. All right. And that healing process, Mars, that sexuality, that transformation to transform, using the Tantra energy. And we can use Tantra energy, sexual energy, without even having physical intercourse. It is an energetic intercourse, okay? And it is one of of allowing ourselves and within ourselves an energetic intercourse using our Kundalini intercourse with nature. That is the number one love affair of knowing how to receive from nature, being with those energies, and really allowing that yin and yang, okay, the chakra buildup of energies of going forward and backward down, okay, and allowing that, okay, to reside within us and to use it for our benefit. Okay, so that is the healing process with Mars and Reiki and Chiron, and it's just really allowing that connection because Chiron's there with the Pisces, okay, and allowing that connection of out, okay, water, nature, Taurus, nature, and a healthy connection of feeding ourselves, all right, and then Mars in Scorpio of transformation, of going from the ground underneath all the way to bring it up, okay, and then allow that to just bloom and just offer more, okay, more love as we bloom, as we give ourselves love, we just radiate with love and give love. And then continuing right along, come follow me. We have Juno, okay, and um, and it's going forward on the 22nd. It's going to be a complete on the 22nd, a complete conjunction there with the vertex, okay, and well, right now Juno's in Libra, okay, and it's going at the end of Libra to the beginning of Scorpio there, and it's going to be conjunct there too of Black Moon Lilith. All right. So again, we're having this, what are my needs? And making sure that we're not manipulating because of the Scorpio, the power and submissive and domination and transformation. Okay. And really understanding that we are allowing and not allowing that allowing ourselves to be without needing to manipulate, but that communication is very, very imperative right now, especially since Venus is trying all that, okay, and the sun, all right, and so it's trying all that and allowing and giving it opportunity to just grow and allowing. And so we need to really allow those emotions and be one with it and go, why am I feeling that way? And can I? Is it okay? I know I've had a client who says, well, I have a right to react. I go, yes, you do have a right to react. But remember, you're reacting out of your inner child, but you do not have a right to allow that negative energy and impose it upon other people. You're welcome to go into the closet and react that way. Okay? Now, if someone was doing something harmful, then you're allowed to react in a way that is putting them at a distance and you insisting limits and boundaries. But if it's not and it's just your inner child having a fit, there's a closet, there's another room, there's another edifice, there's another country, go. Okay? We do not have the right to react in a way that's going to be harmful and in expelling. And a lot of people feel like, well, they expel their negative energy onto someone else instead of just yelling in a forest or into a pillow, okay? They feel better. Now, no one wants to be around them because of that. So we have to be very, very aware. And I'm saying that every time I tell you something and I share something, don't think I'm perfect. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And no one is. Even the masters and stuff like that. Even Mother Teresa had things she needed to learn. That's why she was here for so long, okay, and teaching. So it's always easier in theory than it is in practice. But our challenge and our growth as humans and evolving is that we get it down in our practice and that it becomes the initial reaction and not the initial one is not our negativity expelling out into the universe, okay, and that is when we're like, I got it, okay. So let's continue here. We have Cetus also that is conjunct Uranus, conjunct Sybil. Okay, so again, it's knowing, it's having that all of a sudden need of the nurturing and bringing out and the harvest and leading in that. How can I? So this is when we are saying that yes, let's go and make that harvest. Let's be more organic. Let's be GMO free and gluten free because it's just not doing any good. And I mean, there are some people who can, they're even having difficulty because they're so clean in kissing someone who has eaten gluten because it's still residing in the mouth. The saliva hasn't killed it, obviously, because if it did, it wouldn't have created such harm. A lot of people too feel that they aren't sensitive. Maybe they're not reacting in a way that other people react, like with bloating and cramping. Okay, but they're getting headaches. That gluten is just like sandpaper, you know, and I talk more about it on this, excuse me, in the second part of the program. So be very aware of that, you know, and how we are affecting, because Sybil being there, all right, in Uranus, and it's slowly moving into Taurus, okay, and we got I said Sybil into Uranus, right? Sorry, Sybil in Aries. I caught it though, right? Sybil and Aries conjunct Uranus, so okay, and with Cetus there, you know, we just have that. We need to be very aware of what we're leading, and that it's something for our benefit that is going to nurture us more. We need to nurture ourselves as humans evolving again, and that necessity. And there is also too that, hey, that potential of rebellion and revolution and demanding of rights there, okay, and saying, look, this cannot continue, all right, and with that too, it's opposite of that Juno, of what it is we need, and that harmony with that vertex. So it's a big a little open there, but it's slowly closing in. So, and encouraging that and being aware. And so a lot of things are going on. I know it's like boom, 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 boom. I don't flow in that. I'd rather just pinpoint it. But now, as a summary, it is a time of flexibility, of nurturing ourselves as humans, of nurturing healthy things, okay? And being aware of what we're doing, understanding what happens as we are going towards health and what that withdrawal. A lot of people go, oh, I can't. Deal with that because the withdrawal is so hard. I get the headaches, and yes, there's a withdrawal from gluten. There's withdrawals from sugar. People are not handling very well. There, it's a drug. It's a poisonous for us. And when I say gluten, understand. Someone made a comment in one of my videos before when I talked about gluten, and healthy gluten is the gluten that hasn't been GMO. Uh, uh, well, it hasn't been genetically modified. Okay, so if we're eating gluten, gluten has always existed. And so be aware that I do know that, but I'm talking about the gluten here in the United States and in other countries where Monsanto or other corporations have genetically modified it. Okay, and so please understand what I am referring to when I say gluten there, okay, and other items. So let's go on and move to the personal zodiac forecast. And if you are liking any part of this, please, please, please give me a thumbs up. You know, share. If you ring true, you know, something of this rings true to you and you can relate. And if there's some things, you know, and if you do have a constructive criticism, please use, you know, this is a very loving forum. The esoteric astrology world, the metaphysical world is a very supportive world. Please use vocabulary that is constructive, kind, and generous. Uh, Remember, I am only one person. I might not be able to, you know, uh, take into consideration, but I would try to. I mean, I'm sorry, I might not be able to make those adjustments, but I'll take into consideration, and maybe I can. So always, too, if you like any part of this, share it with someone else. And two, always remember to look down right there, okay, in the description and for the different times. So that way you are very aware of what's going on and not needing to watch the whole program. And also too, in the second part of the program, I have that, I have the description in time. Okay. So it doesn't show up. I have it there on the desktop. It should show up on the side of me on one of these sides. And if not, it is on the description down below. So do know that. Okay. So let's continue with the personal forecast. And if you've been watching all this time, go grab a fruit, go grab some alkaline water, and let's meet back. Okay, we're back. So let's do the zodiac forecast. All right, Aries, you guys have been having this mutable cross in the same place, for a while, but this zodiac, this full moon is happening in your ninth and 10th house. It's going, depending where you are too. So do know that there is this need of a change, of connecting, and you're letting go of certain old, outdated spiritual beliefs, certain, and I say spiritual because not a religion. Religious is a is how would you say this? It's an institute, either be it a physical institute or a mental one in which there are people, leaders who are putting you in there. Okay, there are people who want to follow and there are people who want to lead. You're really going to need to take the time and know, are you following or are you a leader? And if you're following, what is it that you do not want to see and take in account for yourself? Okay, because what's good for one person is not always good for others. They used to say drink milk, right? Well, the milk over there in Europe is healthier than it is over here, so we're not going to have it because of the lactose, okay, and the way they process the milk. So, and could be also in the different environments. And that is something too that you need to take in account in, because then the full moon goes into your 10th house of leadership, of career, and how is it you are being that leader? How are those changes? Okay, perhaps a supervisor is leaving you, or you're having an opportunity to be a new supervisor. And how is this allowing you to make those changes within you and you accepting that you need to make those changes? Okay, and are you leading by do as I say or by do as I do? Are you leading by also just by telling them, or like they say, teach the man to fish, and then, but show them how. Don't just say, do it with them, and then they know how to fish. Okay, being that leader and being specific and encouraging that, being supportive. Do understand that people are going to make mistakes in learning while you're leading, and say, hey, that's okay, got it, all right. Be aware of potential pitfalls and fallbacks as a leader. Don't just move forward, okay, and think that people are following you. That doesn't mean you're a leader, all right? And knowing how to be that good supervisor, you are already telling them in advance, hey, be careful if we're going on this hike, be careful because snakes can come out this way, so walk around this way, make sure you have boots on, you know, the rocks are slippery, so step on this and that. And that is what a true leader is. And that too, in your work, in your career as a father, is very necessary. Okay, it's not just about here, do as I say, or follow me, or I'm providing. Okay, that is not being a leader. And so moving forward and guiding that warrior, and when I say fighting, it's not so much, stand against, but stand up for what is best. And that is important, not just about finances here, but what is important about the uplifting of your own soul. Know your soul purpose. Where is your North Node? Okay. And move forward towards that. So moving right along, Taurus, all right? Let's see here. Taurus, so you got changes going on in your eighth house, perhaps in other people's money. Eighth house also represents transformation. Okay, that phoenix coming out and blooming. It also represents other people's money, okay? And surgery. This is not the best time to have surgery, Taurus. Um, okay, if you can wait a couple of weeks, I would, especially I would actually wait till Saturn goes direct. Okay, that would be the best time. Um, but unless you have Saturn or Mars in retrograde, then it's good. But Mars being retrograde, I really wouldn't. I'd wait at least after June 29th, if it's possible. Unless if it's life-threatening, it's life-threatening. You got to do what you got to do. Remember, I'm not a medical doctor. It's just a suggestion, okay? I don't want anybody going, hey, but she said, uh, but La Sirena said. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Use your common sense also. Use your common sense. Okay, so this transformation, this need, what are you doing that is no longer needed anymore? Are you eating too much sugars, Taurus? Okay, can we let that go? Because that sugar, that also creates a lot of anxiety. People don't realize, they say, oh, my son has ADD, my daughter has autism. Well, what is it that you're giving them also? Okay, are you creating? Maybe we shouldn't say my son has, my daughter has. It's I've given my daughter autism. I've given my daughter ADD. I've given, and that's because of being a parent. We also have to know what is healthy to give them, not just emotionally, not just psychologically, but food wise also. We are responsible. Any child that is overweight, okay, and they are under the age of 18 is the parent's responsibility. That is neglect, okay? And that is a sense of abuse. And it's harsh, Taurus, but it's factual. So make sure what you are giving and nurturing food wise with others, okay, and making that transformation is something positive. Are you giving diabetes? All right. You go, but I want to show love. Well, show love in a healthy way. Take one meal a month and do it healthy as possible. Nothing from a box, nothing from a can, nothing from a jar, all right? And do it as healthy as possible. And slowly bring in new ones, all right? And also, too, in doing that, really connect more with nature. Do more walks with your family. Go swimming. Okay, look at the stars. Go on the roof and look at the stars, or go to the, canyons, the deserts, at the beach, and really share that with your loved ones. Okay, that is a type of nurturing that's very much important also. It's not all about feeding, it's about the quality of time, the quality that we are sharing with our loved ones. That's very important, okay? And doing that, we are transforming ourselves and our relationships and making it more positive, okay? And allowing that connection to be more uplifting. All right, Gemini. Gemini, hi. I'm writing down the times, Gemini. Hello, Gemini. Oh my goodness, you guys have been so busy, busy, busy going here, going there. Okay, what is it that you guys are doing? Are you being in the moment or are you just doing? Are you really learning the stuff or is it kind of? Now, Gemini, this is about your relationships. What is it you need in your relationships? Why are you in a relationship? Okay, like, well, I want love. Well, why don't you have love for yourself? A lot of understanding your relationships is very important because sometimes too in this world of single parenting it's and we are there to really guide our children of how to find that inner love within themselves, okay, so it blooms. And at the same time we are imposing upon ourselves that the old style of relationships is no longer working now, okay, those Disney, okay, um, situations, those situations of the Brady Bunch, okay, or Leave It to Beaver. It was more like My Three Sons and Gidget, where there was the one parenting, okay, and guiding the children. So really, Gemini, understanding what it is that you are needing in a relationship, what you need, what you're willing to provide, okay? What you desire in all types of relationship, what you want, what is your agenda? Why are you connecting with someone else, okay, to help you out? I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying question and say, oh, okay, let me keep that the focus, all right? What is it in your relationship you're willing to give with your children? What is it that you need from your children? What is it that you're willing to give at work with your work partners, with your sports buddies? Okay, your coffee partners. You know, all those, knowing your limits and boundaries, realizing what you can give and what you cannot give, realizing what it is that you're willing to offer is very, very important. Okay. And that way, there is clear understanding, no misgivings, no deceit. Well, it was understood. There's no such thing as it was understood. It was a clear cut agreement or not. It was understood. No, when we say that, we're thinking we thought we made it clear, but didn't mean that there was an agreement. Okay, so be aware of that and those changes of uplifting and what is it you're going in with alone with someone else? Why? If you're requiring money or ending, finally you're paying off that, you're like, woohoo, yippee, yay, yo. Okay. Um, there's changes in that. Maybe your partner's going to be making less money or they're going to be making more, and it's rearranging the dynamics, okay, of that partnership too. Anytime we are accepting something, and it's really not unconditional unless it's parent to child up to certain ages too. But otherwise, it's, well, what can you offer me? You know, what are you willing to offer me in return? And be aware of those dynamics, okay? Be clear and make sure you are seeing the depths of things and not just the superficial part of your way of relating with others. It can be boring, it might be overwhelming emotionally, but you need to deal with that, okay? And so that way you get past that and really feel those depths and being able to deal with your own ego and your own inner child, all right? Okay, so Cancer. Cancer, we are having changes in your everyday life, your daily routine. Perhaps your children started going to summer school. Perhaps they're home now from summer, okay? The way what you need in your partnerships is also changing, okay? Perhaps what you needed before is now changing because of certain things. There's a partnership even with your children. There's a partnership with people that you communicate with, maybe the neighbors, there's every day you take out the trash cans. I mean, once a week you take out the trash cans, and there's understood that, okay, those days can't park there, and you have that under that agreement with the neighbors, so that way no cars get scratched and the trash gets picked up. Okay, maybe things need to be adjusted. Maybe you have an extra car now and you don't know how to arrange the situation. But knowing how your everyday life is going to be adjusted, because your everyday life, Cancer, is going to be adjusted and it's going through changes, also your health. So you got to making sure that you're maintaining and drinking a sufficient amount of alkaline water and spring water, all right, at least 8 nice glasses, okay. And if you're here in Southern California with this heat wave going on, then it's going to be 10, yes, and enough raw fruits and vegetables to hydrate yourself and give you those nutrients necessary to be able to absorb more water. Okay, we need oxygen in our blood, in our breathing, and taking in that breathing, going for walks by the beach, lakes, rivers, somewhere where there's water to hydrate you and feel those negative ions that just, ooh, okay, vibrate our frequency higher. Okay, that's very necessary. Maybe something's going on in your health and you're like realizing for once and for all, you need to change that. Cannot continue going that way. So you're like, oh crap, I really need to be aware and accept certain things. And that's okay. And so just, I know on those time, I thought I was only insensitive. No, I just, no more gluten, period, now in my life because it just hurts. And why am I putting that to myself? It's just not worth it. And then I'm in bed and then I miss out on life and interacting, communicating with people and enjoying life. It just, it's not worth it anymore. I mean, unless you like pain, then go ahead, ruin yourself. But if you don't like pain, then make a conscious effort to change it. I mean, it is what it is. You got to do that. You got to make those efforts within yourself. And then too is, that's very important because that way we can have companionship, not out of people's guilt. I mean, how many people are with other people out of guilt? Like, oh, well, they're hurting right now. I'm like, well, at least we got companionship. Oh, that's just disgusting to base a relationship like that and manipulate people. They should be with us because they enjoy our company, not because they feel guilty or because we are sick and no. I mean, just absolutely not. It's, don't accept that cancer. Don't accept that part of you if you're wanting to play the martyr and the victim, and that's why they're being with you. That is not a healthy atmosphere. That's very childlike. That's very unevolved. That's very animalistic and manipulating and trying to be dominating. And it's not a healthy way to base relationships on. So really make sure that your relationships are based on an equally admiration of one another and enjoyment of one another, not what you could get out of them. Okay, making sure that they're not trying to use you either of what they could get out of you, but that there is an equal amount of giving. What is it that they can give and they're willing to give it? Maybe that we're not asking for things that they can't give. I mean, we can't get eggs from a rooster, so stop asking the rooster for eggs. And making sure that they're not asking you for eggs if you're the rooster. Okay, all right, Leo. Leo, changes are going on in your health sector, in your everyday sector, your daily routine. Take the bike to the market, put some saddlebags on there, okay? Tell the kids to go with you. It's good. It gets your blood going, okay? Take a walk over to the store to get your almond milk, okay, or your coconut milk. No more soy milk. No, stop those lattes and stuff and get yourself an iced tea when you're there without sugar, okay? Really change it up, Leo. You need to really look at your health. You've had some problems in the past couple of years and had some scares, and you might be overindulging and feeling very good. But do know that if you're not careful, things are going to happen again, okay? So you need to really, really be positive, share it, be the leader and share that positive, healthy way of living with the children, with the family. Everybody wants to go out to eat. Say, yeah, okay, but you know what? I'm gonna get the steamed vegetables with that steak and shrimp. No potatoes, no pastas, no. The dessert, and for as the appetizer, I want fresh fruit first, because fruit is always eaten before anything else, not after. Okay. And so, um, be that leader of that every day. And everybody, they'll follow because they'll see that you had the gumption, that you had the confidence, and that you are respecting yourself in public, not just in private, to be willing to do that. So they're going to want to do that too. Okay. And that's a good thing. Okay. That you are encouraging people to want to get better and they'll look up to you. Ooh, like that, huh, Leo? So make sure that like I have our gatherings and we do salsas, with aguacate in there, avocado, and I mean you can even have it not just on chips, but on the zucchini noodles. All right, it's a nice little blend, and I make the fruit raw cakes and freeze them, and they're delicious. Not because of me, but because of fruit. So go ahead, and after a while, people will be more encouraged to bring that too. All right. Okay. So Virgos. Hi. All right, Virgos. How are you? I know it's been a little bit. Things have been going on, right? I know. And then with Saturn and Sagittarius squaring you, But you guys are flexible, so you guys are willing, and you're very practical. You understand the necessity to adapt. And that is the good thing about you, Virgos, okay? So things are going on in your home environment, your relationship with your home, your mother, the relationship with yourself and who you are. You've been developing yourself. Things have changed. And wondering, well, who am I? You know, what you thought you were. Maybe you were a makeup artist and now you're a mechanic, and how to just flow into that, or maybe you're both, and how to balance that has been going on in your life, and you're doing a pretty good job, so give yourself some credit. Okay, give yourself some credit and be proud of yourself. I just do know that there is more flexibility. Make sure that you are um, taking care of your health, drinking a lot of water, eating a lot of raw fruits and vegetables, eating organic, GMO free, gluten free, lactose free, okay? And just really see how that is adjusting, and you also making an effort to adjust that with your romantic partners and your children, and encouraging more fun in your life. You need fun. You're just not having enough fun. You gotta just more entertainment, and bring it in, and more dinner gatherings, and be the one to show them the good food there, okay? And have it at your home, or create a home environment. Just that smile is very important of yours, Virgo. Do smile. Sometimes you get too lost and then you forget to live and enjoy. So enjoying is very of the utmost, is paramount, because if you're not enjoying, then people see that you're not enjoying, then they don't want to interact in what you're doing because it's not enjoyable. So if you can make it enjoyable, that it's something great, and you're like, but it's not. Well, it must be, because in one reason or another, you started interacting in that for whatever reason, and focus on that as being the positive attribute of why you're doing it. And then sharing that, either through spirit, energy, radiance, or communication with others, and they can enjoy it too. So taking that into perspective and really, making that a part of you, it can really help you. Contact and spend some time with your mother and the mother within you. How do you nurture others? Are you nurturing yourself? Are you taking that time? When was the last time you got your feet rubbed? Okay, those poor feet take you so far. Okay, so make sure that you are being good to those feet and loving those feet. Ooh, I'm looking at my feet. Ooh. They need a good massage there. But anyway, so really love yourself, and this is the time to do it, Virgo. Okay, moving right along. Libra. Okay, Libra, we have things going on in your hearth, your home. All right, situations with your mother. Spend some time with them. See who you are as a mother. Also, you make maybe you're rearranging things at home, cleaning things out, getting rid of stuff. Okay, people leaving your home. Maybe you had guests and now they're leaving, um, or maybe they're coming in. Also, things going on in your neighborhood. You starting a new neighborhood watch? Are you guys starting a community garden? You're walking more, taking the time to ride the bike more, communicate more, and have more interaction with your siblings and cousins and aunts and uncles. It's a very important time. Okay, so, and enjoying that, you get to then really come to terms with certain things in your life that need a change. And that's a good thing, okay? Because there's always change, but understanding, and loving yourself, and creating that harmony, not just with others, but within yourself, okay? And forgiving yourself. And that's very important right now, because when you don't forgive yourself, you're just hurting yourself and all those around you. So just really love yourself at this time and communicate. Maybe it's the time to get a new pad, or a tablet, or I'm looking at a phone. I'm looking at my phone going, what are you called? Cell phone. Okay, cell phone. Maybe a new Canon strings, what it is that you are preferring to communicate with, but you are having that change, and it's connected with the communication within yourself and with family. Okay, especially the mother within yourself. All right, so Scorpio. Hey there, Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, you're having changes in your in your way of you communicating, transportation. Maybe it's time for a new car, a new phone, new tablet pad, like I was mentioning with a Libra. It's a way that you're communicating with your siblings, how you interact with your siblings and your cousins. Is there something new going on, with your aunts and uncles? Maybe you're taking a short trip, okay? It would be a short trip, not a long trip, and maybe there's some kind of financial situation going on in there too, that opportunity to make some money, okay? And you're really readjusting your values of who you are, what you need inside of you, your self-worth, and your deservance. And that's very important, Scorpio, because with what has happened in Saturn in your sign, you kind of lost your power, kind of lost your mojo, all right? And this time of the phoenix of transformation, especially if you're over your 30s, all right, that you are allowing yourself to transform. Sometimes transformation can hurt, but it's good. It's a good thing, and you need it, and allowing yourself to be you and why you need those needs. Don't opinionate, but just understand the why. And that's very important, okay, Scorpio? Just really, really just interacting more with those siblings, talking with them. You'll see what is it that irks you about others, and is that part of you? And you wish you had more, not necessarily control, but understanding why it even come out in the first place, and how can you heal that, okay, within yourself. Um, Understanding the power plays that go on in your life, in certain manipulations instead of straightforward honesty. Why do you feel you must do that? If the person really loves you, then you shouldn't need to. You're not trusting. Okay, so why can you not trust that person? Okay, so it's very important. So let's move right along, Scorpio. I'm sorry, Sagittarius. Hi, Sagittarius. Okay, you guys have flexibility. Things have been going on, and then it's been changing constantly. There has been hardly any stability in one way or another. And but you're good. You are just going with the wind there. You are just moving like that goalkeeper with with the ball, and just like, yeah, being flexible, instead of being rigid. You're just like, okay, ready to move, ready to move. You notice athletes, we always have to be, have our bones agile and stuff, because we got to be ready to move, ready to move. Okay. Dancers also, because if we're too rigid, then we fall. And the fall is what breaks us, okay, if we don't know how to fall correctly. So by that, keeping that flexibility, so make sure you're taking that yoga class, that Qigong class, that Tai Chi, that martial arts class, that you're swimming, stretching all the time, okay? Stretch, stretch, stretch. Oh, that feels good. Stretch with me, Sagittarius. Feel that. Just push that back. Get those hands back there and get that, and just really, really get that in, pull and just get, and be happy. Yes. And what you do to one side, we need to do the other. Okay. And this is all about changing yourself. What is it that you need to focus on? Certain themes. Okay. And that's very important, because in doing so too, you're letting go of certain things that are no longer needed. It's kind of like those shoes really can't even hold you anymore. They have so many holes. The soles are coming off. You've re-sewn them so many times. There's no place to even put a new needle to re-sew. There's just sometimes we need to just say goodbye, thank you for the journey, and mosey on. Take some pictures with it, and mosey on. Okay, and that is something very important. Perhaps you're changing something in your physical aspect of being, letting go. You're wearing glasses and now you're going to do contacts, or there's that need to just start up, get busy again, okay, and do something of value for yourself and of worth, and having more trust. And I know it's hard. The easy way is not the way to do it. No, I shouldn't say the easy way. I take that back. Life should be easy in a sense, and we make it difficult. But make sure you're being thorough. That's a better way. Okay, so no matter what choices you make, that you're being thorough, so that way you're moving towards a direction that is more positive and supportive for you. Okay, Sagittarius? that will help you financially in your personal finances. Okay, perhaps you are letting go of a job that you were stressing yourself out with too many, or you are taking on a new job or a new material aspect, possession, and allowing that. And yet there's changes going on. Okay, so be very aware. All right, we have here Capricorn. Writing down the minutes. I'm coming, Capricorn. And here we go. Capricorn, we are having changes in our 12th house, okay? We are taking time to rejuvenate, repose, rest, get a pedicure, get a massage, love yourself, really, really connect with yourself. And an opportunity to once we connect ourselves, we can make those changes on the physical of our appearance on the outer self. But if we're not making those changes in the inner self, it can't happen on the outer. Anything that goes on in the inner is representative of what's going on in the outer, or vice versa. What's going on in the outer is shows what's going on in the inner, and that's very important. And so be aware of that. See how you've changed physically, and say, "Wow, what is going on the inner?" If not, see, a healer who can help you with that, and see why is it you have changed. Maybe change is good, okay, but if you don't like the physical changes, then there's also physical inner things going on in you that you're collecting, certain emotions, psychological issues within your organs that are creating these changes, okay. So be aware of that and be loving of it. And I say that because you do have Pluto in your sign. And just, wow, this is major. Um, of just all that stuff coming up. And you're wondering, well, is it true? Is it, can I love myself? Can I love others? Why am I even here? I just sometimes don't want to. Other times you're like, this is, I got it, this is good. And then something else happens, okay? And so taking time to really see those things and admit to yourself, and asking for help, asking how you can get better with those things is very important, paramount for you right now, because reaching out is good. And sometimes you don't want to. You feel like you need to be the one who knows everything, but you don't. And it doesn't serve a purpose. In fact, you become annoying when you're like that. So let others have a place in your life too. Let others show you that they love you. Okay? Open yourself up to receive in love, not just admiration. Capricorns? Anyway, so Aquarius, let's move on. Aquarius, we have changes going on in your friends' environment. You're taking, how do you rest? How do you rejuvenate yourself, regenerate your energies? How are you meditating? Doing some kind of activity that helps you to be more limber, to be more flexible, more lucid, and more flowing, and helping with your brain to your mind and being able to do those mental gymnastics, okay? And in doing this, you see that you have different needs. You went through some changes, okay, with Saturn and Scorpio. And it's been hard. It's been hard. And now, if, your your work life and frustrations, but is it also because you haven't been clear on your limits and boundaries? You've allowed yourself to be walked over. Okay, how can you change those things? And make sure also in your home life, are you putting your foot down? Again, this is coming up where are you putting your foot down? Are you having delegating? Or are you doing everything for everybody? And what are you getting out of that? You're behaving like a Pisces. Don't do that. Okay, delegating, guide, teach them at least 3 times, then have them do it on their own. All right, and that's important because otherwise you're just taking your energy and you're doing. You need to really, really ask for help and be involved with your friends, and don't be afraid. There's no shame. Everybody needs guidance and help and assistance, and you allow people to be part of your life. Okay, go enjoy, have some friends. Maybe a friend is leaving your life, all right? Maybe someone and that's okay. And have enjoyed the journey and said thank you for this chapter of my life. It's been nice. Thank you for the memories. I got pictures and stories to tell. And I wish you well and allow them to move on. And it's time for you to move on, okay? And or maybe the dynamics of your relationships with your friendships and with your coworkers and your peers and your cousins are changing, okay? Or your goals. What is it that your goals are? You are no longer the same person you were 3 years ago or have those needs. You are definitely have changed and you need to accept that and accordingly live by that. Otherwise, you're fighting yourself. You need to be honest with people. Say, this is what I need. I've had that discussion recently with my loved ones and saying, this cannot continue this way. I can only do so much. And if you're choosing not to, then hey, I gotta mosey on along. I'm not going to sit here and watch you continue as a health coach, continue to see yourself, hurt yourself, and not make an effort. Okay? Just don't come to me and crying and saying I'm in pain. I'm just going to look at you and go, well, yeah, of course you're in pain. Want me to hit your head against the wall too to have more pain? So be very aware and very honest with what you can give and what you can't. Okay? And with your goals. Pisces. Pisces, you're having changes going on at work and with your friends and your goals. Are you being the new supervisor? Are you getting a new supervisor? Have they left? Maybe they're downsizing. Stuff is going on with your boss, and you're realizing that, saying, okay, how can I adjust myself to perhaps you need to look for another career? Maybe this career is no longer serving your needs. I work for one part of your life, but not for this part of your life. And so you're just like, okay, I need to move on. And that's okay. And that's acceptable. We're no longer in the times and epics and once upon a time, times a year, times of year, you're right, where we did one thing all our life. And maybe we do as a passion, but we're not teaching all our life or being um, the the mechanic all our life. We're doing other things as we grow and we share with others. So being very aware of that, making sure you are being honest and truthful with yourself so that way you can have new goals, because then when you have new goals you also need new people who are going to be supportive, who are going to guide you in those goals, who can guide you in that way of life, and being open and receiving that. Don't allow yourself to be a welcome mat and you doing. Okay. Um, so unless that is an agreement that you have with the person saying, okay, I will be in charge of the laundry, but you're in charge of always putting gas in all the cars. So if there is an actual agreement and understanding because you're good at doing laundry and they're good at doing that with the cars, then that's fine. But there has to be a give and take, okay? Making sure that that's appreciated. Um, what is it that you need to strive? You need to get respect yourself more. And in respecting yourself more, that's only done by doing more, learning more, being more available to yourself and adjusting yourself and being flexible and learning how to fall so it doesn't hurt, and being willing then to share with others and guide them because maybe you're the new boss, all right, and being the leader. And we talked about how before in the general astrology that being a leader is not so much just saying do as I say, but being aware of the pitfalls of that situation. If I'm saying, okay, we're gonna cook, we're gonna grill with the electric grill inside the house. Let's put on the fan. If not, the carbon monoxide could affect the alarms, all right? Make sure there's a tiny bit of olive oil there or coconut oil, so that way that it doesn't stick, and put the herbs on, poke holes, so that way we can put the juices and melt in. You got to tell all the thing, not just tell the person make, grill up some fish or grill up some pork. Okay, being aware that they know how, And then if they don't, guiding them there. Don't just tell it, show them with action, have them do it. Because teaching and telling are two different things. But I know you're going to be good at it, okay? Um, you have a good heart, and that is always the best start, Pisces. All right? Well, if you guys liked any part of this, you know, I am Nereida La Sirena with Celestial Soul Wellness. There's a bunch of us. Please contact us. We have all kinds of healers, hypnotists, Theta, Psyche K, uh, Reiki, EFT, TFT, Astrologer, medical intuitives, massage therapist. There's several of us. Go ahead and we are, well, we're health coaches, life coaches, and intimacy coaches. Just if you like any part of our shows or programs, do know that you might not see the other people, my assistants, but we got the web guy, or the person who gets the paper out there. We have the person who puts everything up on YouTube and oh, sorry, I got an itch. Who puts everything up on Instagram too. We want to say thank you to all of them. They're awesome. Ray, Liz, Becky, they're wonderful. And then all our other healers. Gabi and everybody works with me. All of the assistants are also healers. Okay, so that's a great thing. I know, join us on Meetup. We have the tarot gatherings and the summer solstice and the solstice and drumming. So, and yeah, this time we didn't do a big drumming thing. I'm thinking maybe we should get it together. Maybe not. Um, I got so much on my plate right now. I apologize. Uh, so, yes, if you like any part of it, thumbs up, please. I really appreciate it. Do know we're available for private readings, for Skype, phone, okay, email. Personal readings do cost more, okay. I do energy healings with that too, and clearings. So if you see the second part of our program, you see the other side of me too, you know. Let's see, is there anything? Oh, we're available for hula. Hawaiian Hula. If you need entertainment, we're ages from 4 to 84, and from small groups to big groups. We have our own music and our own announcers, and our own dancers. You just tell us the time and place, and we'll gladly be there. So check us out on Quipo Hula. You can see us on Facebook or see some of our videos on YouTube on my channel and also on my Facebook. And let's see. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful summer solstice and full moon. Enjoy. Dance. Dance tonight. Just dance. And when you finish dancing, dance, love, and smile more. Have a joyous, blissful, healthy life always. This is Nereida La Sirena with Celestial Soul Wellness. Chasito.